Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Two Old Farts. My name's Chuck.
And I'm Lou. I'm the oldest of the two old farts, probably the ugliest. Your mom said, "You better go comb your hair before you get on your podcast."
Does
Well,
she even
no
watch
difference.
or listen? Does Mom even listen? Does she even listen to us?
No,
So what does she care if you comb your hair?
because your mom is going to make sure you comb your hair. And every week, 2 or 3 times during the week, she got to trim my ears, trim my eyebrows, and make sure they're not too long. I said, nobody cares and nobody gives a crap except her.
You know, that's funny because when I got into my mid-late 40s, that's when I started to have to get the eyebrows trimmed, the ear, the outside, the hairs on the inside. That never happened when you were young. What happened there?
Now, when I get my hair cut, she always trims, the ears and stuff like that. And I like the back of the neck done and stuff like that. But your mom, she's like your grandmother, your grandma Shawbrown. They gonna look their best. Your mom ain't going out of the house until that hair is just right. It may take you 3 hours to get dressed, 2.5 hours doing her hair.
Well, my wife is not like that.
That's where
If
it's
her hair
always
ain't looking
been. It ain't gonna change now.
too good, she'll just put it up and put a ball cap on, put a ponytail out the back end, and she's ready to go. Just put a little lipstick on.
That's how the generations change.
I guess. I don't know.
Back in the day, people dressed just like your granny. One of the things that she did do, you didn't go out the house with dirty underwear on. You put on clean underwear every day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, it got dark in here. Hang on, let me turn on the light. It got dark in here. I don't know what happened.
So something might
now
happen.
I got
You'll put on clean underwear. So,
yeah, I put on clean underwear today, too.
That kind of falls in line. I got some things that are actually kind of funny. It says, you can pretend you don't, but you'd be lying. There are things every single person on this earth hates. Some of them are kind of funny.
Everybody hates Auburn.
Yeah, except your granny. She always had that Auburn stuff in the house because of your cousin. And she did do damn good. She played some good guy. Birthday dinners. Everybody hates birthday dinners.
I don't.
I don't either. Splitting the check at a birthday dinner.
I don't hate splitting the check.
I don't either, but sometimes it can be uncomfortable with people because you don't know and stuff like that. That one rich friend who says, okay, let's just split the bill evenly when all get different things. Now, that's kind of annoying, If you're going to split the bill, let's just split the bill, and stuff like that. That's one thing I like about Uncle Leonard and Uncle Bobby when I go out with them. One of us is going to pick up the check, and we're all very courteous. Last time I did it, I guarantee you, next time I go out with one of those guys, one of them is going to pick up that check, and there ain't going to be no arguments about it, right? The other one's dropping your phone in front of people just to get attention, not knowing how to spell someone's name. Any signs of Christmas after December 31st or before Thanksgiving. We got Halloween coming up. We got Thanksgiving coming up, right? So which one you going to decorate? Both or none or all?
Well, we do set up decorations for Halloween. We don't really have like a lot of Thanksgiving type stuff because Brenda has a lot of fall type decorations, which she'll put out there, which kind of goes with the Halloween theme, because it's fall.
Yeah, that's like your mom. She's already got fall stuff out. Nothing in particular. We don't particularly do anything for Halloween anymore. We used to do the cookies and stuff like that, but nowadays we just close the doors, close the blinds, turn on the TV.
And they still come to the house, don't they?
One about a car or motorcycle too loud. Here's one that you like. The last 30 minutes of any work day when you're just sitting there doing nothing.
Well, I don't have that problem. There's always something to do at work.
Thinking you're lucky that you didn't get bit by mosquitoes until the next day when you discover you're covered all over. When you wake up in the middle of the night and see that exactly 3:00 a.m.
Now, of late, I've been getting up just like bing, eyes open every morning between 3:30 and 4:30.
Yeah.
So depending on when I got to get up, it's usually about 45 minutes to an hour before I'm supposed to wake up that I wake up. or if I don't wake up, the dogs are waking me up to go outside.
And then you want to get another 30, 45 minutes sleep and you can't. Or if you do, you go past the time to get up.
Now I don't. I got the alarm set up here on the phone,
Yeah, I do too.
but it's just you can't go back to sleep. Some people can. I can't. Once I'm up, I'm up.
This week, I don't know how it happened, but for about 3 days in a row, my phone went off every day at 7 o'clock in the morning. I did not set it, except somehow I got in there and went into one of the settings that had an alarm for like all week or something like that. So every morning your mom pushing me, kicking me, because I don't hear it. I have no idea how the hell that happened, but it was annoying for her.
I bet.
Here's this last one. You're going to like this one. When you're high, AF, you know what AF is as,
Yeah.
and someone knocks on your front door.
Don't answer it.
I thought that was pretty funny when you're getting high and then somebody's going to knock on your door. And,
Knock on the door, same as somebody calling my phone. I just ain't going to answer it.
I guess the other thing, too, I do a lot of butt dial. I don't know how the hell I get on this phone, but somehow it starts calling people and it'll put it in my pocket and just calling people.
That happens every once in a while. It was maybe a month or two ago, more like 2. I was at the gym. I finished up my run and I was getting ready to go to the shower. And somehow I had ended up butt dialing Brenda, not knowing about it. And then she calls me back and I'm like, why is she calling me? It's 6:30. Why is she calling me? And she's like, you called me. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And I looked down and I checked my history and I'm like, I guess I butt dialed you. And you've butt dialed me once or twice.
Yeah.
And, I'm yelling at you, Dad, like you could hear anyway. But, so I just end up hanging up.
Yeah, I butt dialed your Cassie the other day, your cousin. And I didn't know I butt dialed it. Rang. Then she called me. Then I got scared. I said, oh, something happened to Uncle Bobby, right? Because she was texting me to let me know she couldn't call because she was on the phone with doing something, and she's sorry she missed my call. But I'm the one who called her, so I had to text her back real quick. Sorry, it was a butt dial. But for about 30 seconds, I got really scared thinking something happened to Uncle Bobby and he was back in the hospital or something like that. Yeah. So I got to figure out some sort of way how to turn this damn thing off so it won't be butt calling people.
So what did you think of the game yesterday?
Well, I was pleased the way it came out. Offense in the first half, didn't show a whole lot, but they come on strong. One of the things I told you they need to do, and I think they did a little bit, and I was reading some stuff this morning about Coach Womack, too, we'll talk about. We don't have the quality of players that we had in the past, offensively, defensively, and that's not saying we don't have good ball players. It's not the same coaching style, some of those kind of things.
Yeah. I thought we lost 26 players in the portal when Saban retired.
Yeah. And then I thought Jalen Milroe in the second half, well, in the first half, somewhat. He just started taking control and doing what he needed to do. And I think that's what they need to do. But I read an article about Womack this morning about how he's changed. He's always been a person that doesn't blitz a lot and do those kind of things, and how he's changed his philosophies to fit the talent that he has and the mentality of the players that he has. I think that's what you got to do. I think that's what offense you got to do. Different coaches, different philosophers. These kids were recruited by a different coach for a different process of how they're going to do things. But I think yesterday was good. And I'm going to tell you, I feel a whole lot better playing the LSU week after next. Because I watched that LSU Texas A&M game, that first half, I said, hey, they're out there. They ain't no way in hell they're going, because they were down like 2 touchdowns, or I'm not exactly how much it was, 2 touchdowns. So they came back in that second half. Miscues when you're not paying attention. Like there's, I think, 3 interceptions in the second half. Then there was a field goal attempt, and the center snapped the ball, and the holder was looking at the kicker and hit him in the chest and bounced off. Of course, A&M, and they converted it. They turned, So when you have those kind of things, but I'm watching their coach on the sideline. I don't particularly care for their coach, but I'm not paying the salary either. He was getting all over those players, which I understand that. But sometimes, like the kicker, he was on to the holder. Well, and the holder's looking at the kicker to get when he wanted him to snap the ball. Well, it's not his fault that the center snapped it as quick as he did. So you need to be talking to that center or whoever's calling the cadence, stuff. But to me, they exposed the weakness in the LSU team, and that you can get a rattle, and once you do that, you do some things, and I think that's what Alabama did in the second half defensively. They changed how they do things, some things around, and did some things differently, and they put a lot of pressure on Missouri, even though their starting quarterback was out. But I don't think that would have made any difference if we stayed in the ball game last night. And you got to give Missouri credit; they're a pretty damn good team this year.
They are, top to down. The teams in the SEC are just a lot better this year. Florida's kind of turned it around. Haven't been following Mississippi State that much, but I guess they're where they always are. LSU, up and down, a little uneven the last couple of years ever since they got Brian Kelly as their coach. But A&M is a surprising turnaround. Arkansas, kind of a sleeper team that nobody's really talking about. Vandy, obviously, since they beat Alabama, they're the trendy topic to discuss. South Carolina, a little uneven, ups and downs. You haven't heard anything from Kentucky. Nobody's really talking about Kentucky, but Ole Miss, that's a team to watch. And a lot of people, they were like an early trendy pick for a lot of people. But I just think top to bottom, the quality of the product is really good, except Oklahoma. I don't think they've won an SEC game all year.
That kind of surprises me, but I think they are kind of in the category of Alabama. I think they lost some players in the portal and things like that, too. I'm going to tell you the team that I'm surprised at, I'm really looking forward to see how they finish the season, is Vanderbilt. I like that team. I like the way they play ball. I like that quarterback.
I love Pavia. I think when Brenda found out that Texas was playing Vandy and there was nothing else on, she's like, throw that game on. She wanted to see.
Yep. And I was talking to your sister the other day. One of her teachers that she teaches with, actually, she is the volleyball coach at Luna Middle School, as well as a teacher. Her son graduated from Vanderbilt, so she got a little ribbon that whole week, with after the game and stuff like that. But I like Vanderbilt. What I've seen, I like what the coach is doing there. You're in Nashville. You got to compete with Tennessee and Georgia, especially Georgia and Alabama and Tennessee. In that area, recruiting-wise, it's tough.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But you're right. We got 8 out of the 25 teams in the top 25 in the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah, and it just seems like there's more conversation generated around these SEC teams because they just win. And the only teams you hear anything about in the Big Ten are Oregon and Ohio State right now. And
that's it.
And then right behind it, you hear a little bit about Penn State, but Indiana, they're the kind of a trendy team, kind of like a Vandy right now, and they're still undefeated.
Yes, they are. I watched them play yesterday. They are a solid football team. I'm not sure what their schedule like. Like Alabama has the 31st strongest schedule, and
I just read they had the 5th toughest schedule.
5th?
That's what I read in.
But Indiana, I'm gonna tell you what. I was really pleased on game day yesterday how they treated Coach Corso. They were in Indiana, and then the mayor named yesterday was Corso Day in Bloomington, Indiana. And then they had all his former coaches out there. But you know, he has the best coaching record at Indiana of all the schools he coached at.
I believe it. So let's see here. This was from a couple of weeks ago from sportsbettingdime.com. So this was at the beginning of the month. They said Florida had the toughest, then Michigan, Mississippi State, UCLA, Wisconsin, Georgia, Alabama at 7th, then USC, Oklahoma, Houston, and at the top 10, then Kentucky, LSU, Virginia Tech, Purdue, West Virginia, top 15, rounding it out into the 20. Maryland, Arkansas, Washington, Oregon, South Carolina round out the top 20. And then the top 25 would be Vandy, Texas, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Auburn. So, quite a few SEC schools in that toughest schedule. But again, it's because we play each other.
Exactly. More so than probably anybody else. What do you think about
Miami? For the
Miami?
longest time, the Big Ten had more conference games than the SEC did. So that was usually a source of contention in the rankings, especially during the CFP and in the beginning of the BCS and the CFP. They would be like, well, you guys play more cupcakes than we do. We have more conference games.
Yeah, you're talking about LSU. They dropped 8 places in the poll last night. They dropped down to 16, which is just 2 below us. We're at 14. So how do you think that game's going to, because they got a bye next week just like we do. So
of course they're going to take that bye. They've got more to lose than we do, and it's on the road. So that's already 2 strikes against us right now. And if you've noticed, some of our better games have been played at home, and our definite worst games have been on the road. Both of our losses were on the road. So this game does not bode well for me. The defense, the last 2 games have really come on strong. So I'm happy about that. It's the offense, it's been a little uneven. And like you said, Jalen, he turned it around in the second half a lot better than in the first. I get it. And we've had some good playmakers at the beginning of the season. And, we got, what's his name, Bernard?
Yeah.
He came on in these last 2 games. The running game got markedly better in this game than it had in the past. I don't know if it's play calling. I don't know if it's execution or the changes at the line of scrimmage based on what the defense is showing. I don't know. Maybe the pressure's getting to Milroe of, all of that conversation, Saban leaving, new coach coming in, him feeling like it's on his shoulders to do something about it. I don't know. I give these kids a lot of grace. I'm not a sky is falling kind of a person like you and I have discussed. I think it's us coming to grips with like our own mortality, if you will, of this is what it feels like to be every other college program because we were spoiled for the last 15 years under Nick Saban. And I say 15 because it was in 2009 when he righted the ship with the national championship run through 2020.
I think that a lot of it, and I think that article I read this morning about Womack is right on. The coaches have got to change their mentality and their strategy to fit that of the players. You want the players to fit you. That's a pretty challenging test to do because they're limited on their talents and the way they came in and stuff like that. So I just really like that article. It changed my whole perception of Womack. But, they're going back and they were comparing defensive coordinators. Kirby Smart, we talked about it before. It took him a couple of years.
Yeah, it did. But I think he had to get comfortable in his own skin because like we were talking about yesterday, he didn't get a chance to go cut his teeth as a head coach at a smaller school before he went to Georgia. He jumped straight to the big time.
And you're right. They get in and learn a little bit. Jeremy Pruitt, probably the best defensive coordinator we've had there in a long time. But then the guy that we got from UTSA, Pete Golden, he was okay, but I think he's doing better at Ole Miss.
I think so.
But I'm with you. Us fans got to got to stick it out. We just got to keep on watching and give them kudos and drink a little bit more beer to the games.
And it's those old cliches that finally make sense when you get to be our age on, what you hear. You got to one play at a time, forget about what happened, focus on the next thing that comes in front of you. And when you start to delve into that philosophy and mindset, it really does help you be successful, because before you get great success, there's great failure.
Yes.
And you have to be determined to move past it, to learn from it, and to not be afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think we still got a good chance of making the playoffs. I think we can get into the top 12. Vanderbilt plays Tennessee the last game of the season. That could be a trap game for Tennessee. Texas and A&M's got to play each other the last game of the season. Then you got Oklahoma's got to play us and LSU. You never know how those games go. Then you got Ole Miss, Mississippi State. You know how that can go. They still got to play Tennessee. So the way this schedule goes, we still have a shot. We just got to improve on what we're doing and have better games than what we had yesterday. If we can play like that and increase the intensity on defense, that was the key to Saban's success, was those defensive teams.
Yeah. And the line of scrimmage on offense and defense, that's where he was built. He built his teams from right there, and then mostly from the defense back, because he was an old school coach, 3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Now, when I was reading that article, this one where Coach Womack, one of the players that came to my mind, Mount Cody. I don't know why. When I was reading that article, I was thinking about Mount Cody. Remember one of the
Terrence Mount Cody, yeah, the block field goal at the end of the Tennessee game.
Yep. So those are good times, and I'm looking forward to our game in Oklahoma too.
I am too. A little bit nervous because it's on the road.
So that's going to be a game. That's going to be a fun.
It's going to be a quick turn. We're flying out on Friday and coming back on Sunday. Ain't a lot of time to be goofing around.
Yeah, but when you go to a game like that, the fun part of me is usually in the hotel you're staying, you have other Alabama alumni, so you start talking and have a couple beers with people from all across the state and the country,
Right.
Not everybody that's going to be there is going to be from Alabama. They're going to be folks like us from all over. So you get some good conversations.
Of course.
Yeah. So we got another trip coming up here pretty soon.
Yeah, why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, we're going to go get some pies. That's always a fun trip.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a few years now, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And then we have Thanksgiving. We're going the day before Thanksgiving, right, on that trip, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I could have picked on Tuesday, but I'm going to be working on Monday. And then I'm like, nah, don't do it Tuesday. I may stay up late, not want to get up early in the morning. So I'm like, you know what? We'll just do it Wednesday.
Well, that's good. That trip to Marble Falls, it's some pretty country up there, and there's some beautiful country in between here and Marble Falls. I enjoyed that trip, the to and from, almost as much as the fun we have eating at the Blue Bonnet Cafe. That's one of the oldest ones in the area or in Texas. I'm not sure how old they are, but they have some good food and people are really nice, and the customers.
They're just like you and me.
Well, we had a bad experience at all when we ate there.
Nope. Yeah, and I picked 11 o'clock this time. That way we ain't got to get up early and hit the road early. We can kind of, ease into things. But if you want to leave early, we can. And like you said, maybe grab some breakfast.
Yeah. We'll give a shout out to your son-in-law, Peter. I enjoyed that trip with him. Was it 2 years ago we made that trip? Was it last year? I can't remember which.
It might have been last year.
Yeah.
But it might have been 2 years ago. It's hard to remember these things. They run together.
That was a fun trip. I love Peter. I'm so proud of what he and Taylor's doing, and of course Erica and Mackenzie and Jordan, all of those, our granddaughter, my granddaughters. your daughters, right? What they're achieving and stuff like that. So, but that's always a fun trip.
I agree.
But just see what the traffic's like. See if I need to drink 2 or 3 beers before I make that trip with you, or if I can get by with just one.
I'm gonna bring some whiskey so you can just get you some whiskey out of the flask.
But that's about a 2-hour trip. Maybe about 2 hours.
About an hour and a half each way.
Yeah, depending on the traffic and the number of stupid people on the road.
Yep. Hey, next weekend. It's a bye weekend, right? Not this one coming up, but the one after.
Right. No,
I'm
bye weekend is next weekend, November the 3rd.
Yeah, not this weekend coming. No, it's the weekend after. No, it is this weekend. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm thinking we can go to this old ice house, the Albert Ice House. I think that's the name of it. It's up by, I think it's near High. Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's up by High. And I think it's in Stonewall, Texas.
Okay.
You haven't heard of it? It's Albert Dance Hall in 1892.
It's 1952?
1892.
Wow. Okay. That's one of the oldest in Texas then.
Yep. And I think there's a little bitty school that's right nearby, or right next door to it, that I think LBJ used to teach at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look it up where I talk about it, because from the 1st to the 4th, I'm going to be doing in the daytime doing some work with the DAV chapter at the Golden Corral. That's our annual fundraiser that we do with the Golden Corral, which is a big supporter of DAV. So if we're going to do it on the 2nd, I need to know so I can let them know I'll change my schedule.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, since we got a bye weekend and the weather's cooling off.
It's going to be nice. So I'm checking the weather, make sure I get the right kind of clothing for our November 23rd trip to Oklahoma. What I'm reading is normally it's about 75 in the morning, 70 in the afternoon, something like that.
Something like that.
But anyway, that's going to be a good trip. I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a fun. All right.
Yes, sir.
We give a shout out to Aunt Carolyn here. We're all at 32 minutes. She's going to be letting me know about it, letting you know about it.
Yep.
All right,
everybody. Yep, we've been rambling.
All right.
You take care, everybody.
Y'all have a good one. We love all you guys.
Yep, we love you. We're thankful that you're listening and downloading our podcast. We're on the socials. Hit us up. If you got questions, if you have comments, you have ideas, we want to hear from you. And if you got a phone or whatever, maybe we can invite you on the podcast as a guest.
Yeah, and we'll reach out to Andrea. Maybe we can get her on one day. The Whataburger. She was a lot of history there, and with her and some leadership and those things. But they get you 2 cousins. I got to contact them and see what we can get them on. That'd be a fun. We're going to have them both at the same time, or one each. I don't know which way we want to do that.
Yeah, we could do one day, one another day.
Yeah. But those 2 girls are funny. I'm going to tell you, I saw some pictures of Brooke and her son this weekend, a couple of things, events they were attending to. I'm glad to see them having fun. And Jessica, one of the other cousins there in California, and Jimbo there in Georgia, they're all doing good. I'm glad to see them having fun and enjoying life.
All righty, everybody. Y'all take care. Good. We'll see y'all next week.
See you down the road.
See you down the road. Love you, Dad. Bye.
Love you, son. Bye.